Hey Kapil, in your experience of working with CEOs and business people, what are the commonalities through the lens of truth that you see, like business owners have the most success and the most scale with? Like, what's the commonality?
It doesn't. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Who cares? What are you going to do? Copy it? I mean, there's no point in this question. Let's say that they all comb their hair to the left and they wear polka dot shirts. What are you going to do? You're going to read the 7 Habits of Effective People? Is that what you're going to do? I mean, maybe they chew gum on the left side of their mouth. Maybe they brush their teeth at 8:30 a.m. instead of 7:30 a.m. What are you going to go copy that for the morning routines? What are you going to find mental hacks and mental models? Who cares? There's no putting people on pedestals and trying to copy them. Once again, you're just bringing in the trash from the world into over here, and this is not trash pickup day. Don't bring it over here. What commonalities? What are you talking about? I mean, they're this and they're this. So what? What are you going to do? Go be that? And if you do that, who will you be? By you copying somebody else, no matter how much you may look up to them or see how successful they are, so what? Then you're just a slave. You're just a mimic. There's no copying anybody. Whatever worked for somebody, it worked for them. It may work for you. It may not. But if you're going to look in the direction of other people, then what does that make your life? It's just more self-help. Really, it's lower than low. The self-help and the habits of effective people and the this and that and copy and mimic and all these success leaves clues, all this garbage that you just picked up from the world in this motivational speaking and it's unless someone is willing to understand that everything that they've heard is trash, it isn't true, it's not real. If that was the case, then those people who bought, some famous person writes a biography and it sells, hundreds of thousands of copies, then you should see hundreds and thousands of successful people after having read that biography. But do you? Do you see even one? I mean, those things don't go. This all just everything's just a tabloid. Everything you read is just a tabloid. What do you mean? What do you care? I understand. I understand that you're conditioned. I understand. Everyone is conditioned. I understand that. I don't blame you. But if you consider that, let's say that I was to say that A, B, and C, they all do this. I'm sure that you may actually get up and then go do that too. But if that was the case, once again, you have to, everyone's got a couple of neurons in their head. Everyone does. Even the most dense among us has a couple of neurons in their head. Okay, just basic logic. If one was to copy somebody else, then those who have read the thousands of articles about the habits of successful people and they read the biographies, and then they would have been successful because of that. By doing that, and quite frankly, then that's all. You would never even need to do anything. You would just do what they did, if that was the case. And then you would see 1,000,000 Picassos, and you'd see 10 million Rembrandts, and it would just be a world of successful artists all over the show, and that's what you would have. That's what logic states. If that was the case, and if you will actually, by your own admission, should not have any problem to admit that that isn't the case, then what would be the point of asking what they do and what their habits are and all of this just fluff? It's all fluff. Burn your books. Don't read Silicon Valley people's recommendation of books. Don't wear togas and talk about stoicism. Burn your books, turn off your computer. Don't listen to the media. Don't read magazines. Don't look at the latest blogs. Don't read the latest hacks. You can if you wish, but they're not true. Once again, because I say no, because look at the evidence. If that was true, then those who read those things would get what the people that they read about got. And anyone with half an eyeball can see that obviously isn't the case. And not that it should be the case or shouldn't be the case. It isn't the case. It's not good, it's not bad. It isn't unfortunate, it is unfortunate, but it isn't the case. Therefore, for whatever reason, if it isn't the case, why ever pursue that again?
Do you think there's a reason behind this conditioning, or a motive behind the conditioning that we receive from society?
Well, it's really all that's available. There's no motive behind why a dog barks. And it isn't evil because it barks, and it's not good because it barks. It's the habit that it picked up somewhere along the way. It's DNA. And in the same way, if you look at society, the vast majority of people that you meet in society are not evil. Most people are very pleasant and want to help, but society as a whole even isn't evil. But you have to look at what it's composed of. And when you see what it's composed of, then you don't look at things in terms of judgments. You look at things in terms of the only way they can be, because whatever a thing is composed of, that's the only thing it can give. And so society is composed of common people, the masses. Now, the masses weren't made, the human being wasn't made to be common, but he chose to be so, by way of conditioning, by way of brainwashing, and each person conditions the other. Now, unless a person has a DNA which moves against all that society purports, unless a person has a sensibility and a DNA which for whatever inexplicable reason tends to run the other way, it is virtually impossible that he won't become conditioned. So wherever one lives, that's the conditioning he will get. And so the human being lives where? Well, he lives in a world of lies. What are the lies? Well, the books are lies. The magazine articles are lies. The blogs are lies. The stoicism and the togas and all these things are lies. They're all lies. And they're all lies not because there isn't some factual things in there, that are real. They're lies because the impetus behind them are lies. They are all force-fed. Everyone is told that if you practice X, Y, and Z, you'll get that. But even the ones who tell that aren't even getting that. So no one gets the thing from the X, Y, and the Z. And so it is all jargon. As a result, if someone is brought up, which everyone is obviously, in that environment, then that's the only thing he's been exposed to. So why would he not become conditioned? It wasn't his fault. It's no one's fault. Why would he not become conditioned? If you live in a world of lies and you subscribe to that world, then you have to be full of lies. The only way you wouldn't be is if you treated the world like the devil, and you hung crosses around your neck, and you ran the other way at every opportunity you had. Then there's a possibility that at least you could limit the conditioning. But aside from something radical like that, the conditioning is inevitable. Once again, there's nothing that I said is based upon belief. I mean, it's basic logic. Wherever you are, that's the conditioning that you're going to get.
A follow-up question on the same. how do you get out of that conditioning? Isn't it be rebellious if you just start opposing everything what society have?
Well, how did you get into the conditioning?
We're just following what society.
Did you have a strategy to get into it?
Nope.
And then why do you ask for a strategy to get out of it?